I am perched upon a cracked wooden bench in the cloister of Sofia University, St. Kliment Ohridski, the wind slicing through the stone arches like an unpaid creditor. My velvet glover size, the dove-grey ones with the tiny pearl button say, are already frayed at the fingertips, because this place devours finery the way candle flame devours moth wings. I am 17, an heiress to nothing but my own exquisite disappointment, and I am recording every last particular so that you, gentle stranger, may shiver in synchrony. Do you feel that hollow behind your sternum? Good. Keep it there, we are going to need it. The admission parchment arrived sealed with wax the color of dried blood. I broke it at dawn, expecting Latin flourish, maybe a sprinkling of gold dust. Instead, the ink bled sideways, as though written by a trembling bureaucrat who had not been paid since the Ottomans left. The instructions contradicted themselves. Send originals by post, but also upload scans, but also appear in person with 12 photographs, but also pay a fee that changes denomination depending on the moon. I asked Mother why a university would demand my birth certificate translated by a sworn notary, then reject that same notary because he once translated for a rival faculty. Mother only sipped her nettle tea and murmured, "Darling, corruption is simply tradition wearing yesterday's cufflinks." I did not laugh. I packed 6 trunks. I arrive at the Iron Gate at 7 in the morning, velvet chaperone hat pinned so tight my temples throb. The guard, ancient mossy, breathing through his mouth, stares at my passport as though it is a menu written in Martian. He licks his thumb, flips pages, lands on the visa that cost me 3 bribes and 1 panic attack. Then he snaps the booklet shut and says, "This is the old format." My pulse flutters like a trapped sparrow. I explain in my meekest Slavic lilt that the consulate assured me the format is valid until next year. He shrugs, which sounds like gravel poured into a coffin. Go to Building C, room 412, bring a blue stamp, not azure, not cobalt blue. I curtsy because politeness is the only weapon left to the powerless. Building C is a tuberculosis palace. Plaster peels in petal-shaped curls. Each step exhales spores of forgotten ideologies. On the second landing, a sign reads room 412, but the door is gone, only hinges dangling like broken ribs. A janitor in a capillary-stained smock tells me room 412 was moved to the basement during the flood of 1965. He wheezes, "Mind the rats, they prefer foreign perfume." I descend. The air thickens into cold porridge. My boots squelch on linoleum that once was green, now the shade of envy left out in rain. In the basement, I find room 412B, a cupboard pretending to be an office. A woman with hair the color of cigarette ash sits beneath a single bulb that flickers Morse code for despair. She demands my dossier. I hand her the folder bound with silk ribbon. She opens it, removes each document, licks her finger, tears a corner off my high school diploma, and drops it into a kettle that definitely is not boiling water but some other acrid broth. I gasp. She says we test paper authenticity. I want to ask whether authenticity tastes like despair, but my tongue has turned into felt. She stamps a form, thump so hard the ink splatters like a murder scene. Pay at the kiosk upstairs, then return with receipt, then pay again downstairs for the validation of the receipt, then return here, then wait. I count the steps. 7 queues, 4 staircases, 2 bribes, 1 existential crisis. I curtsy again because rebellion is a luxury for people who do not.
You know, it's really sad, the things that happen around Sofia University, St. Kliment Ohridski. It's like you walk down the streets and you can almost feel the weight of stories that have unfolded there, you know? Like this one time there was this little shop, it was all quaint and inviting, luring in tourists with its charm. But beneath that friendly facade, there was a scam brewing. These tourists, they probably thought they found a gem, a place to get authentic Bulgarian souvenirs. But when it came time to pay, the cashier, with a sly smile, swiped their cards for more than the items cost. It's like they didn't just steal money, they stole trust, you know, and I can't help but predict what happened next. The tourists, they must have been so confused, checking their statements, realizing they've been had. They feel that sinking feeling in their stomachs, the same one I get just thinking about it. And the scammers, they probably counted their ill-gotten gains, smug in their deceit, not caring about the hurt they've caused. But karma's a funny thing, I bet it catches up to them eventually. Then there's this other story. A watch repair shop right by the university. Tourists would bring in their precious timepieces, family heirlooms, thinking they were in good hands. But instead of fixing them, the repairman would swap out the real gold and gems for fakes. Can you imagine the heartbreak when they find out? It's like their memories have been tainted, and I predict they feel betrayed, questioning everyone's sincerity after that. The repairman, he hide his face under a mask of innocence, but deep down, he know the clock s ticking on his deceitful little operation. It s a playground for deceit, this area near Sofia University sent. Kliment Ohridski, you've got to keep your wits about you, or you'll be the next character in a sad tale of fraud. And it's not just about the money or the things lost, it's about the innocence, the belief that people are inherently good. It's about the realization that not everyone deserves the benefit of the doubt, and that's a hard lesson to learn, isn't it? But you know what? Despite all the darkness, there's a glimmer of hope. Because for every scammer out there's also a good person, someone like you, who listens to these stories and becomes more aware, more cautious. And maybe, just maybe, that awareness will protect you and others from falling victim to these scams. It's like we're all in this together, fighting against the tide of deception with our eyes wide open. And that's a beautiful thing, don't you think?
The businesses that cluster around Sofia University St. Kliment Ohridski feel as if they were designed by someone who once read about commerce in a dusty encyclopedia, but never actually met a customer. I came expecting the crisp, student-friendly energy you find near famous campuses in Vienna or Bologna. Instead, I stepped into a slow-motion argument between architecture and basic human needs, an argument the humans keep losing. Start with the malls. Serdica Center squats 2 metro stops north of the university gates, and every shopper who walks in is handed the same invisible riddle: find the exit before your parking expires. The building hides its doors the way a guilty child hides broken glass, and if you ask for a map, the staff look at you as if you have requested the nuclear codes. 2 hours of free parking used to be 4, then it became 2 per lifetime, and the moment you cross the limit you pay in anxiety rather than lever. Inside, the air is thin, the kind of thin that makes babies in strollers cry and makes their parents discover that escalators here have a personal grudge against wheels. One working elevator serves 5 floors, the rest demand a key card that the red-vested security guards guard like family heirlooms. Should you dare step into the wrong lift, you will overhear them muttering about a 50 lev fine, the way medieval monks once whispered about excommunication. Toilets smell like forgotten history, stores close one by one until corridors echo like a school after the last bell, and if a bomb threat ever comes, the management kindly asks you to abandon your car in the underground maze, while police poke around for 24 hours. In short, Serdica Center treats convenience as a vulgar rumor. Cross the street to the boutiques and the mood sours further. Boutique Pap dresses its windows like a Parisian dream, but push through the glass and the dream shrinks to a single weary rack. Staff greet newcomers with a slow head-to-toe scan, the kind scientists give insects before pinning them to cardboard. Ask for a Versace shirt in your size and you are told no with the finality of a slammed gate. Ask if they can order it, and the same syllable returns, now sharpened. No greeting, no curiosity, no offer of help. The prices, meanwhile, remain stubbornly sky-high, as if the labels themselves are trying to keep warm during a Sofia winter. Need to burn off the frustration. Pulse Deluxe Gym will happily take your money, then invent fresh rules to take it twice. Tourists who wander in hoping for a 1-week pass are informed that the universe only sells days at 35 lever each or months at 200. The concept of 7 consecutive Earth rotations is, apparently, Hollywood fiction. Long-term members watch the management shuffle machines into a basement where oxygen goes to die, replacing solid equipment with dusty plastic contraptions that forgot how to count weight plates. Cockroaches hold meetings in the changing room, receptionists forget to hand out locker chips, and trainers vanish like paid magicians. When you complain, the staff practice a rare art: they fine you for their own clerical mistakes, then look surprised that you are no longer smiling. Put together, the commercial ring around Sofia University is a cautionary tale told in small print. Malls that ration air and time, clothing stores that ration courtesy, gyms that ration honesty. If you are visiting the city and feel the romantic urge to shop, stretch, or simply sit down, ride the metro 2 stops farther. Your wallet, your lungs, and your faith in basic human fairness will all arrive intact. Act, 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 act.